From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. BP. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to me, to you. Welcome back to the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. Guys, ta-da! It is episode 199. 199. We pushed it back so that it could be the last episode of this year. Every time I say we, I say me, but you know what I'm saying. I always refer to us as we and everything. But hey, this is episode 199, and you are here with me on December 29th, 2023. Can you believe it? We are here. We have reached it. We have done it. We have just 2 days left in this year. This is episode 199. Next time you hear from me, it'll be a new year and a new series of episodes starting with 200. 200. Yeah. So I'm really excited about this because I'm excited because once again, the show is going to be undergoing a little bit of formulative changes. And you'll just have to be surprised and wait, because I've still got a couple of ideas I'm trying to percolate in my mind and see if I can make things work. It may some of my ideas may just have to be a gradual roll in over the course of the first month or two of the year. We'll see how things work. But I've got a couple of ideas. It's always fun to try to do new things. After 199 episodes of this thing, it can get a little bit stale. I don't know about you, but I know for me sometimes it feels like I'm just same old. And I just don't want to. I don't want that to be the case. I know that the listenership, the viewership of the show, we've got a few people that have been just forthright and have been here since the beginning. Those first several days of just the first several days when it was hard to listen to because it was just stoic and it was just boring. But way back when, right? Way back when we started. And some of you guys have been here all that time. And new people are finding the show all the time. Some people are just finding the show this year. Some people have just found the show in the last couple of months. And it's interesting for those people. I'm sorry. Because we've been on one crazy whirlwind the last couple months of the show, just trying to see where the air is going to take us. And I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for the future because there's a lot going on. And I want this show to continue to be a place where we have the difficult discussions. And I know sometimes people that are somewhat outspoken within the world of BV sometimes get a bad rap for either always trying to toe a company line or always trying to be politically correct or whatever it is that they're out there trying to do. And I understand that. But one of the things that we've always tried to do, and when I say again, I have always tried to do in conjunction with and in partnership with all of you guys out there, is I want us to be able to have those difficult adult discussions when things pop off, when things come up. I want this to be a place where we can discuss these things, especially when it involves the brotherhood that we all call home. And there's never there's never nothing going on, right? And so things are always evolving. The brotherhood is, I mean, let's be honest, it's still in its infancy, and it's, being what is it, 8 years now? I mean, let's be honest, that's not a long time, really. And so it's still finding its way. And there's changes that are happening. There's changes that have happened. There's changes that need to happen. There's just different things, and it's constantly evolving. Different chapters are constantly evolving. Different brothers out there are evolving and finding new ways to do something. So this is the place. I want this to be the place, and I think I've done an okay job doing just that, and I think I've done an okay job trying to stay up with what the viewers, what our brothers out there might want to hear, be interested in hearing. Sometimes I feel like it's the old I'm the guy casting out the fishing line, trying to just grab onto something because we run into those slow news cycles, and we run into the time periods of not a whole lot going on. And so we're gonna try to continue to mix things up a little bit and see where things take us. I'm going to continue to try to interview brothers from all over the world. Some of the places that, may not get much publicity very often. Some of the ones that, aren't very active on social media. We do have a bunch of chapters out there that just, you know, that just don't, that just don't, that they're not active on social media. They might be doing things, but I want to reach out to those. I want to hear from those guys, the guys that don't put themselves out there very often, so that we can maybe help them along, so that we can actually, so that other chapter. I mean, we've got sometimes you hear a conversation with people and do we have a chapter there, or do we still have a chapter there? I didn't know they were still in existence. You hear these conversations a lot, and I hear them in Captain's chat all the time. So this is the kind of stuff that I want to continue to do, is to continue to have those conversations, continue to reach out to brothers all over the world, hear what our brothers in different parts of the world are doing, hear about what the chapters out there are doing, and we're going to continue to do all that stuff. So that is the plan moving into 2024. Hopefully, we'll have some fun times, some surprises for everybody, and we'll just go from there. Hey, something I'm noticing is that my voice still sounds rather nasally. My voice is still not back up to 100%. From being sick a couple weeks ago, I was still dealing with the nasal thing and what all is going on there, the drainage, and I feel like my voice has become much lower over the last few weeks. But that's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it for what it's worth. For right now, anyway. Sounds fun in the headphones here. Just, I know it's not my normal voice. So anyway, hey, I want to give a shout out to the couple people that are here live right now, chatting it up with us, taking the time to mention some stuff, say hi in the comments section live. Of course, Mr. Jacked Up Leatherworks. What's up, buddy? He says, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. What's up? What's up? Congrats, he says. Congrats on the 199. Yeah, man. It's been a long time looking back on it, hadn't it? Been a long time. Mr. Gra is in the house as well. How you doing, Gra? He says it's always something. Yeah, talking about what's going on in the world of BV. Buddy is also here hanging out with us. Evening, guys. How you doing? Good to see you here. I know there's a few other people that are watching live, just not commenting in, but I do appreciate those of you who are here with us. Again, celebrating episode 199. Seems so crazy to think. When this thing started out, guys, I thought, hey, I'm just going to be happy if we can get to episode 25. If I can get into the 20s, I was going to be happy with it. And lo and behold, we only did 24 of these episodes audio only. And episode 25, if you recall way back when, episode 25 was the beginning of doing all these live streams as well. And we've been live streaming and audio ever since episode 25. So, boy, time's a flying by. Loving it. I mentioned earlier that this show, and I've said this so many times before, that this show would not exist if it were not for you. Obviously, the brothers that are out there, the brothers that are a big part of what, the vocal people, the ones that make BV what it is. Um, but I say that in also to say that some of y'all, some of y'all, if you're listening to this podcast in a standard podcast platform, for sure, many of you, but some of y'all are failing me miserably. I know sometimes I'm not the most, I'm not the most forthright in staying up and reminding everybody when the show is, but usually you know when it is. And I know for a fact that once again, earlier, a couple days ago, I reached out to everybody. Well, I didn't individually reach out, obviously, in the show's Instagram stories, I reached out. And I know a lot of people received the message because I could see how many people actually viewed the story. And I know sometimes you just scrolling through and you see the Instagram stories and you're just kind of flipping through real quick. But I know you see it, you saw it because you made it to the next one. And many, many, many of you made it to the next one, which actually had the formulative question on there. And what I was asking everyone, and so if you're here live right now and you did not comment on those posts, I ask that you do so in the comments if you'd like. Or if you want to, let's just do that. If you're live and you want to comment live, I'll read your comment. We'll do it that way. But I asked everybody, what were your wins in 2023? How did you succeed? And I know so many times, and the reason I said this was because so many times we talk about failures. We talk about what the ways that the year sucked. Every time at the end of every year, and this is something everybody does. It's because of this is our nature, is that we look forward to the next year. We look forward to New Year. We look forward to the new start. We look forward to, in many cases, starting over in whatever way that is. And we do so in a way that says, get the hell out of here, whatever year we're in. We're so happy to see, when 2020 was around, we were like, 2020, get out of here, for obvious reasons. 2021 was a celebratory year in many ways for people because of 2020. But then we were like, 2021, get the hell out of here. Then we were like, 2022, get the hell out of here. Now we're saying 2023, get the hell out of here. And it's a cyclical thing. We do it every single year. And you're going to run into some sort of strife. You're going to run into some negativity. Things aren't always going to be honky-dory for you. But everybody had something. Everybody had a success. Everybody had a win. Some kind of a win that you had in 2023. It could be that you finally paid something off. It could be that you finally bought something that you had been saving up for. It could be that you finally achieved a certain goal. It could be that you graduated, you finished schooling, you did this thing with the work, that you got promoted. It could be, it's sad that we can't find these things. We can't look back. And I think what happens is we think back. It's this recent bias thing. And we think back to the stuff that just recently happened. If we've had a bad couple of months, it's easy for us to say, oh, I can't wait for this year to be over, because you forget about maybe that thing that happened in January, or that thing that happened in March or April, May, whatever it was, beginning of the summer. It's recency bias. You're thinking of what just recently happened bad. But I think everybody has, that thing or a couple of things each year that were a really cool success for them. They were a win. Hey, I won at this. I did this. And I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't give ourselves that time to at least appreciate that. If we go into the new year with all that negative energy, with all that negative space, I think we're doing ourselves a major disservice. And so what I asked of all of you was, I want to hear about those wins. I don't care how small they are. I don't care how big they are. I want us as brothers and sisters out there, I want us to be able to celebrate those victories, those wins that we had. I want us to face the new year in a positive manner. going in with a positive mindset, looking back and saying, yeah, there was some crap that happened. There was some stuff, but at the same time, hey, I won. There were some victories there. And we know that there will be more victories in the future. That's what I want to focus on. And so I challenged everybody. I said, hey, let's hear about these wins. Let's hear about these victories. And nearly 100 people at least saw my message and liked my message, mind you. That's key. They liked it. They took the second to like it. But I don't know if even 10 people sent me messages in some way, shape, or form to indicate what they were, that wanted to share any of their wins. And I don't know if it's because it's inconvenient to take the time out to type a message. I don't know if it's because of that thing in your head where you see the message and you can't respond right away because you need to think about what were my wins for the year. That goes out to another thing. I would love for us all to get in the habit of each year, when the year rolls around, when you're coming to the end of the year, think about it. Give yourself the time, the presence of mind to be able to sit back and evaluate your year. And I know it sounds funny. It's not something that everybody can do. It's not something that everybody probably wants to do. But one of the best things I think that I was once told, and I once read, and I once saw, I've seen it in speeches, I've seen it in motivational speeches, all sorts of different things, and I've read it in books, that one of the most important things that you can do for yourself is to find yourself a few minutes a day to think, to sit down in contemplative thought, right? And to give yourselves those moments where you can just think, quietly think. And so what I want to challenge everybody else to do is, even if you didn't respond, if you're listening to this show, give yourself a couple of minutes. Think back all the way back, January 1, 2023, when you ushered out 2022 and you were so happy, so positive, things were going to change. And January 1 rolled around. Look at the months, January. Think of it like that calendar thing that you see that just flips through the dates. What happened? What did you have? What were those little victories? What were the big victories? What were the things that you did in 2023? Some of the surprises. Some of the things that you learned from. Some of the things that we think of as negatives, where you may have had a failure, you learned from it. And believe it or not, once you learn from a failure, it becomes a positive. Anything that you can learn from, it's positive. So those things can become those wins. Hey, I survived this, and I know I can't do that now, or no, that's not the way to do something now. Hey, a positive right there. That's what I want us to all focus on. And so tonight, I'm going to be going through some things that were that some of the people reached out to me and said, hey, here we go. This was my win for the year. This was something that we did as a chapter. This is, something, some way that we won. And I want us to be able to celebrate all these people that took the time to do this. I'd love to hear from you. If you're here in the comment section, we'll bring you up for sure. But one of the brothers that chimed in here in the comments section here, I gotta bring it up. I know he's just left for work, so he may not even hear this. But Mr. Gra, Brian, he says, got knocked down, but I got up again. No, you're never gonna keep me down. Relationship, new job, kicked death's arse for the second time. Yes, heck yes. I know Graw's in a great place right now. He's in a better place with what he's doing, and he is swinging for the fences, and he's making his own wins. That's what I want us to do. That's what I want us to focus on. So if you'll join me, I want us to go through some of the ways that some of our brothers and sisters have reached out and told me about some of their wins. I don't know how long this episode's going to go. I don't know how many, different things that I'm going to go off on, or how many tangents we're going to roll off on. And, you're going to hear more stuff from me. And yeah, tonight it's just going to be me talking to you. So I hope you're comfortable. First of all, hey, cheers. Hope if you're drinking tonight, cheers. Here's to episode 199. Take a drink with me. All right. Cheers. Mr. Jacked Up Leatherwish says, hey, all failures are stepping stones to great success. Yes, 100%. I believe that. You betcha. One of our brothers, and I'm going to save his comment for last, because one of our brothers, and I'll say his name now, Mr. Puzzle Man, Hector, he reached out to me and he's like, hey, he wanted to know when the deadline was, when he could submit to me. And I said, just got to have it done by the show. And this is what I love. He took the time to actually go through his year and think back to all of the different ways that he won, that the chapter one had successes. And he gave me the most detailed and thoughtful response to this question. And I'm going to save his response to the end. But yeah, I was just so happy to hear that. And I know some people, you're just going to respond pretty quick, whatever's off the top of your head when you want to respond to these questions. But that's fine too. But I just want to be able for us to celebrate these moments. I want us to be able to take a few seconds and celebrate with our brothers and sisters what the wins are that they had for the year. So Mike Baker, hey buddy, here in the comment section says, got some mental health this year, and my life with friends and family is a lot better. Hey, that's it. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's easy to look back and think of where you were on New Year's weekend 2022. It's easy to look back and see the things that you wanted to accomplish in 2023. And now here at the end of 2023, those things that you didn't accomplish that you wanted to accomplish. And it's easy to think of yourself as failing because of those. But there's a lot of different ways to look at that. Maybe it just wasn't the time for you to accomplish that goal, right? It's not a failure until you truly give up in doing it. It's not a failure. You just haven't done that yet, right? You just haven't done it yet. So don't get all down on yourself. Don't get pissed off at yourself. Don't get mad at yourself for not accomplishing all the things that you thought you were going to do in 2023. Just add them to the list for 2024, right? It's not a failure if you don't give up. So keep pushing forward and keep doing what you need to do. Stay positive and just get out there and kick ass. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to run through some of these. I love it when, we did have some pretty decent comments here, man. Let's go through it. I got to find the very first one that I had. Okay. Hey, one of our brothers says, became a homeowner. How huge is that? How huge is that? Sometimes we work our whole lives, right, to never be able to get to that. People work their whole lives to never get to that. Some people never want to. Some people just don't want to be a homeowner, and that's fine too. But for those who strive for it, those who work for it, to finally be able to get to that point, what a huge accomplishment that is. Man, big props to you. Became a homeowner. Love that. Up in Alberta, Canada, raised $205 for the food bank in Red Deer, Alberta, and had a few meets with brothers. Hey, that is awesome. Anytime you're able to raise money for charity, anytime you're able to do work for charity, that's incredible. And then, of course, what are we here for? What are we here for? And I know, especially up in Canada, I don't know a whole lot about Canada, but I do know one thing. It's a big place. And you guys up there, even with all the chapters you have up there, you guys are spread out. And so I know how difficult it can be. I completely understand how difficult it can be for some of you to be able to get together on even remotely, even close to a regular basis, what we consider here in the States a regular basis. Some of our guys some of our chapter guys get together at least once a week. And if you guys up in Canada and some of those areas, I know there's some European, areas that are hard as well to get together. If you're able to get chapter guys together like twice a year, you're lucky. Some places once a year. So, yeah. So enjoy that, man. Enjoy that time you're able to get together. So thank you, Alberta, for reaching out. Further information as a chapter, he says, raised about $600 for Steps of Life, donated about $90 in bottled water for the mustard seed. Great things, Alberta, man. You guys are taking it on. I love it. One of our brothers says 2023 marks the end of 24 years as a kidney transplant recipient and the beginning of 25 years. Hey, now see, I love that. That's the way to look at things. It's easy just to look back and go like, this isn't really a victory. Well, you try telling that brother that. That's a hell of a victory. 2023 was 24 years of being a kidney transplant recipient. That's a victory in itself. And knowing that you're going into the 25th year of doing that, that's amazing. Congratulations, bro. Well, let's see. We had scrolling through here. Let's see. Get some more on here. Let's see what else we got here. One of our bros up in Canada had some tough times, I know for sure, for a fact, during a few different times in the year. And I'm not going to say his name. He knows who he is. But somebody I speak to somewhat regularly, and he just simply said, overcoming adversity. And man, what a thing that can be, right? Trying to stay positive through things when you're faced with adversity, both in the BV world, but if you tack on top of that some adversity and challenges that you have at home, this world that we live in, this BV world that we live in, man, it doesn't come without stress. It doesn't come without drama, unnecessary drama. But there are times, sadly, when that stress and that drama from the BV world encroaches on our personal lives. And sometimes so sad to see that it affects our personal lives, our home lives. And I hate to see that. But when we're able, like this brother said, when we're able to overcome this adversity, we're able to get through it and work past it, that is a hell of a success for sure. Let's see what else we got here. One of our brothers said, I married the one person who truly understands me, who truly believes in me, my best friend. Wow. Hey, finally getting to a point where you're comfortable with a person that you want to put a stamp or a ring or whatever you want to call it, put a notice on that relationship and get married. Marriage ain't for everybody. Some people live their lives together as a couple would never get married. But to do it, and I can speak from experience, man, one of the best days of your life. One of the best days of your life. When you finally get to that point and you can stand beside somebody who, like you said, who truly understands you, who truly believes in you as your best friend. I can speak from experience on that. 100%. Yeah. 27 years. Yep. This year, 27 years for us. And man, I've been married longer than some of y'all have been alive. Put it that way. I'm old now. I'm old. But hey, you get through it. And I'll be the first to tell you, brother, and if you talk to anybody who's been married any amount of time, there's going to be struggles. And, it's not always easy, but getting through it and making sure you have those conversations and making sure that that person that's your best friend, they're there for you. And it's easy. It seems like too easy sometimes to just shove the marriage out the door and not want to, fight for it. It happens a lot. That's why they say that only 50% of marriages last. Well, I'm here to say 27 years, right? And we've been together 31. So congratulations to you on the marriage. Let's see here. One of our captains says, first full year as a captain, putting on a multi-chapter meet, very stressful. Yes, I understand how that could be, but you know what? Unfortunately, this specific guy, this brother, I know exactly I know what you're talking about. I know the event that you ran, and I unfortunately was not able to make that event, but everything that I have heard from people that were there tells me that it not only was a success, but it was a fun event. And if you can make a successful and fun event, that becomes one that people want to come back to. And I guarantee you it's going to happen. And this success that you had this year with this event, it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger. So, and it doesn't have to get bigger necessarily by size, right? It doesn't have to get bigger by the number of people that attend. That's not what I base a successful event off of. With all the years that I've been going to the events, I've seen some really large events in number of attendees kind of on the stinker side, right? I think everybody's been to one or two of those events that were just hugely attended, but you found yourself sometimes just kind of looking around and going, yeah, And then I've been to a handful of other events that were, for all intents and purposes, fairly small in number of people that attended. I've been to a handful of those, and I had a blast at them. Some of the most fun events I've had that I've been to had less than 50 guys at. Some had almost 30. So you can't look at the success of an event by the size of the number of people that are in attendance. You got to look around the room. You got to see, are people having a good time? And as I understand it, that event, boy, they did. So congratulations to you on the very stressful part of it, yes, but the stress was a positive for you, and you did a great job, from what I understand. What's up, Puzzle? Puzzle's in here talking. Puzzle, I will tell you later what the event was. But it was a chapter that put on an event for the first time in a long time, and they did a great job with it. Let's see who else we got here. Take a drink so I don't lose my voice completely here. Moving on. We got a brother that said, being a part of a chapter who cares about the community and is dedicated to help. Man, how awesome is that? How awesome is that? When you're able to push your guys, when you're able to have the right mindset, when the chapter that you have and the chapter brothers that you spend your time with, man, when you're able to look at your guys and they're able to say that what a huge success and what a big thing it is for them to have been a part of a chapter that cares about the community and is dedicated to help. That's that says a lot. That says a lot for the leadership of that chapter. That says a lot for the brothers that are in that chapter as well. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? You can have really good leaders and crappy brothers, and it doesn't work out. You can have great brothers and crappy leaders, and it doesn't work out. It takes both. So, congrats to you, being a part of a chapter who cares about the community and is dedicated to help. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Uh, one of our brothers overseas says, attending the World Meet in Ghent. Hey, I did not get over there to that World Meet this year. Uh, Unfortunately, just too far, timeliness, money, everything. But boy, I mean, I saw the videos, I saw the photos, and it looked like an amazing time. So everybody that went to that World Meet, first official World Meet over there, over in Europe, it was awesome to see. Uh, I love it, Tone. One of our brothers, Tone, says, every day I wake up was a win. Yes. And I know he doesn't care if I say his name. Every day I wake up is a win. Also said, avoid getting COVID for another year. Hey, there's a win. That's becoming harder and harder to say that you've done, right? I think that's for sure. One brother says, took the most flights I've ever taken in 1 year. Woof. That's saying something, right? That's saying something because I know you travel. So, wow, great. Brother says, making the decision to have my girlfriend move in with me. Whoa. Yes. That's an awesome one. And the fact that he sees that as a positive. He sees that as a great thing a great decision to have made. A lot of times guys make that decision and then they look back on it a few months later and go, no, that wasn't smart, but good for you. He says that's a great decision for him. That was a win. Says welcoming one of our brothers says welcoming my first grandbaby into the world. Wow. What a huge moment that is. What a huge moment that is in your life. Becoming a grandma or a grandpa. Wow. Congratulations. Oh, let's see here. We got a brother that says more than twice the amount of meats and hardware than in 2022. Wow. Okay. So what he's saying is not only did he attended more events, more than twice the number of events that he did in 2022, but apparently he brought home a bunch of hardware more so than he did in 2022. Excuse me. Awesome stuff. Looking forward to 2024, he says. There we go. That's the way to do it. Let's see. I've got another brother that said, despite everything personally, getting to lots of major meets and the world meet. Yeah. Boy, I know there's a lot of people, and this is there's a lot of really positive things and really good things about having our brotherhood be an international brotherhood, and that the fact that we are all over the world. The downside to it is you can only really have what you consider to be a world meet once a year per se. If we're only going to designate one meet a year as that, and it's not going to be something that everybody can get to, but for those that do, it's a really cool thing, especially when it's truly a world meet, when there's people there from other countries. What a fun time that can be. So good for you, buddy. Great to see. Let's see. One of our brothers says, taking one day at a time, being thankful for what I have and what is not needed in my life. Wow. Hey, that's deep. That's deep. Taking time for what I need and what is not needed in my life. That's some good stuff. I think personally, I know that that's a difficult thing for me, and it's probably a difficult thing for a lot of people to be able to differentiate between what is good and what you want and what you need in your life, and then being able to pick out those things that are unneeded. Because sometimes the unneeded things are things that you might want, right? They might be some things that you want or you think you want in your life, but they turn out being something that's detrimental, that takes up time, takes up energy, or gives you bad energy, doesn't put you in a positive mindset. They're negatives, they're energy drainers, things like that. They just drain from your life. And so, how awesome is it that this brother's able to see those things that are not needed and take them away from his life? Great to hear. I love that. Let's see. One of our brothers says he became a captain of his chapter. Became a captain of his chapter. Brought in some awesome new guys in. He got a scout patch. He beat cancer. Wow. Hello. What a huge thing that is. And raised over $10,000. Man, hey, that is a year. That is a year right there, boys and girls. Man, became a chapter captain, brought in some awesome new guys, got a scout patch, beat cancer, and raised over $10,000. That is a full year. And it's going to be a hard one to that's going to be a hard one to match for sure. But let's do it, right? Hey, let's do that. That's that's a year. And I'm proud of you. That's amazing. Let's see. One of our other brothers says, "Hey, easy. Joining BV. Congratulations on the choice. It's a journey, and it's one that we don't, many of us don't, some of us do, but many of us do not take lightly. And, you know, there's a lot of different ways to look at things, but I think if you stay there with your feet on the floor, you stay grounded, it can be one of the best things you've ever done in your life. It really can. So congratulations on that. Another brother says, new homeowner. Love it. I've heard, we've had a few brothers that have seen Celebrate, you know, getting a new home and becoming a homeowner for the first time. I love seeing that. One of our brothers says, got married, had our first baby girl. Man, how much that changes you. That's a year. Holy cow. Got married and had a baby. Hey, getting married is 1 year. I mean, that's a marker for a year right there. Get married and have your first baby girl. Whew. That's a year by anybody's standards. Congratulations. Big time. One of our brothers laughingly says, surviving. Hey, sometimes that's all you need, right? Sometimes that's it. That's all you need. Just surviving, moving on one day further, getting through the day. Sometimes that's all we get. Sometimes there's not an actual win per se that you want to, that people would chalk up as a win that you can walk away from the day or the week or the month. Sometimes, as we say, surviving may just be it. Let's see. One of our brothers said, sadly, I don't have any. I hate to hear that. A few stale years, but hopefully this year. Now, see, I'm going to disagree. I know who this brother is, and I'm going to disagree with that brother. I don't know if he's going to listen to this. I don't know if he's going to hear this, watch this, or whatever, but I know who you are, and you's telling me that you sadly don't have any. I'm calling BS on that because I know you have. I know for a fact you've had a couple. But this is one of these things. It's easy. It's easy not to see them. This is why it's so important for us to be able to take a couple of minutes out. Give yourself some time at the end of a year. I think personally what I do, and this is something that I find myself, the older I get, And maybe I'm just weird. But the older I get, I find myself enjoying those quiet moments of thought more and more. And sometimes I find myself staying up late nights, much too late, just kind of in my own head, thinking and remembering, going over the day, going through, what it was during the week, what's going to happen next week, those kind of things. But if you don't give yourself those moments, it's so easy for you to forget about the wins that you do have. I said it earlier. It's easy to forget. And calling something a win, calling something a victory, a success, it doesn't have to be a tangible thing. It doesn't have to be that you bought a house. It doesn't have to be that you got a promotion. It can be a much smaller thing, but boy, how big can some of these small things be, right? I know you hear it endlessly on motivational speeches when you hear stuff, when people talk about ripples. And it's one of my favorite things to talk about. I love talking about how the ripples of somebody's actions can affect so many other people down the road. But it doesn't have to be in just that manner. A little tiny thing that happens in your day on some random, obscure day in February can be a ripple producer for something later in the year. It could be something that you did that positively affects someone else's life, not yours. You mean to tell me that being able to be a positive force, being able to provide somebody else with a smile, somebody else with something that they never had before, making somebody else's day brighter, you can't call that a win? That's not a success? I think it is. We have to kind of change I think we have to change our definition of what a win is, what a success is. I think if you think about it, if you pay attention and you look back on what your day was, every single day, you can probably find at least a handful of successes or wins that you had in that day. It could be something as simple as you walked through the grocery store and you said something, or you were super polite to somebody. Maybe not super polite, but just by your terms, polite. But it was unexpected in the mind of somebody else. You opened a door for somebody when they didn't expect it. And you have no idea how crappy that person's day was. They could have the shittiest day in the world before they encountered you. But what you did, and with a simple action, right, can change the course of somebody else's day. These are wins. These are successes. This is what I want us to focus on. Maybe I'm just way too positive of a person. People have said that to me before. Why are you always so freaking positive? I don't know. I can't help it. I see the good in people. I've spent so much of my life looking and focusing on the negative, looking and focusing on the things that other people do that's bad. And I think it knocks away a little bit of your armor every day you do that. And so I choose to focus on the positive. And the positive things that you do, those wins, those successes, those victories that you have, they can come in little tiny fragments of a day. But they're there. You just have to be able to see them for what they are. So don't tell me you didn't have any, because I know you did. Everybody does. Just easy to not see them for what they are. Another one of our brothers says, growth as an individual and becoming a sergeant of my chapter. Love it. Love it. When we are able to look at ourselves and see the growth that we as men have had, how big is that? How big is that? Yeah. Puzzle says, we shall stop growing when we pass. Yeah. You're evolving all the time. You're constantly evolving. You may have some failures, but it's evolving. The failures just lead to future successes. That's all that is. That's it. That's it. So many great things that our brothers have achieved over the course of this year. Let's see here. Moving on. Let's see if we have. Let me go directly into the messages now. All right. Some other ones. One of our sisters who love to see when she chimes in with us. She says her local wins are we finally had a female veterans camp. This woman is a veteran and very proud veteran. And said that she was finally able to have a female veterans camp. Awesome to hear. The female vets from the Cincinnati VA are getting together to encourage and support each other both in groups and on our own. That is huge. Huge. I'm not a vet, but a lot of times I think, and this is just me speaking completely out of turn, and I apologize. I'm trying not to offend anybody by these comments, but I'm just going off of what I see. And a lot of times we hear and see support groups for veterans. And when we see the videos, when we see commercials, when we see photos of these support groups for veterans, they're almost always pictured and showing men. So that there's a focus on women somewhere in the world, that's awesome. So that's very cool to see. Let's see. They did Wreaths Across America for the first time and are looking to make it even better going forward. Very cool stuff. I love to see that. Let's see. One of our brothers says, bought a house in April. His mother passed away in July. His son was born in October. Had 9 puppies born December 10th. This year has been one hell of a year. He says I would say successful for 3/4 of the events this year. Yeah. Hey, all the events that you go to or that you plan or attend, they're all successes in some way, shape, or form. So but too often we are stuck looking at them from a monetary position specifically or a numbers position specifically. But like I said before, no matter about the money, no matter about the number of people, and I've done it myself too with our events. I've seen it myself, and I've felt that need to be able to attach something to it, to call it a success. But if there's people there and the people that are there are having a good time, this is something that my co-cap Ed has pounded into my head when I start to second guess things. If the people that are there are having fun, that's what it is. That's a success. So good to see it. Let's see what else we had here. All right. One of our brothers up in Michigan sent me a message, and he says, finding momentum as a chapter. Or I'm sorry, this was not in Michigan. This was actually one of our brothers. Yeah. This is one of our brothers with one of the Australian chapters. Very cool. Finding momentum as a chapter after a split. Very cool. Having our biggest toy drive yet with over $1,600 worth of toys and vouchers, supporting a homelessness and DV shelter. Very cool. Finding new and creative ways to fundraise for future charity initiatives going into 2024. That's awesome. So they're looking forward to the future. And one for him personally is finally finding my feet and the confidence within myself to lead my chapter into the future. Hey, as a captain, awesome. Awesome stuff. See, these are wins, guys. These are wins. You've got to be able to give yourself the time to accept them and see them for what they are and appreciate them. You have to give yourself that. There are so many wins out there in a given year, right? You got to do it. Congratulations. Love to see that. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. All right. So what I want to do now, I got to give a shout out to our brother Puzzle, right? Hang on just a second. I got a call. All right. Had to cough there. Our brother Puzzle, love him. He gave me, I think, one of my, this I think is my favorite answer only because he took time. He took the time necessary to really go through the year. And just awesome. So I'm going to read this to you. And it's not short, but it's not short for a reason because it's an awesome response. So this is it. Love you, Puzzle. Chattanooga Villains 2023 this year has been a tapestry of compassion and meaningful actions. We dedicated time to Pawpaw's ministries, distributing clothes and providing meals to the homeless, witnessing the impact of simple acts of kindness. The Sleep in Heavenly Peace initiative brought warmth to 20 families through the bed sets and snack donations to the Ronald McDonald House, fostering comfort during challenging times. On Veterans Day, wreaths adorned the resting places of our heroes, honoring their service, assisting a disabled lady in repairing her wheelchair carrier, underscored the value of lending a helping hand. Villains Night illuminated the darkness with Christmas lights and a toy drive for 300 kids added to the joy of the season, embodying the spirit of giving. Each endeavor, a chapter in the story of making a difference. I love that. Each chapter in the story of making a difference. Additionally, as a chapter, we joined forces to raise an impressive, and I'm going to say very impressive, $16,875 for our community. This collective effort exemplifies the power of unity and generosity, echoing the impact we can make when we come together with shared purposes. It's heartening to witness the positive ripple effect. See, there we go, ripple. It's heartening to witness the positive ripple effect of our actions, contributing to the betterment of the lives around us. This year's accomplishments stand as a testament to the strength of community and the meaningful change that can be achieved through collective passion, through a collective compassion. Man, I can't think of a better way to say it. And this is what's important. We don't like to thank you again, Puzzle, for that. Chattanooga's had a hell of a year. But I think it's so important for us to be able to do this. We don't like to cheer for ourselves. We don't like to stick our arms up in the air and say, hey, look at us. We don't like to brag about the things that we've done. But that doesn't mean that you can't take a few minutes out and breathe. You can't take a few minutes out to look back on the successes of the year. It's not bragging to look back and say, wow, look at what we've done. That's not bragging. You're not rubbing it in anybody else's face, and you're not comparing yourself to somebody else. All you're doing is being able to take a few moments out to appreciate the efforts of the brothers in your chapter. You're taking a few minutes out to appreciate the sacrifices of the brothers in your. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Stuff like what Puzzler just wrote about. I'm going to be honest about some of the stuff that some of the guys here locally at my chapter have done. And I know that it's the same way all around the world. Let's be honest. There's a sacrifice to doing the things that we do, right? There's a sacrifice to it. And it's one that we willingly do. We willingly step up and say, I'm going to sacrifice time with my family, my other family, my personal family, unless they're there with you at the same time. But it's a sacrifice you give up. It's if you have vacation days at work, it's a sacrifice. You're using up some vacation days to go do this stuff. It's a sacrifice of time away from anything else you could be doing, other people you could be spending that time with. It's a sacrifice to do the things that we do. So why can't we give ourselves a few moments at the end of the year to see it for that, to congratulate our brothers for what we've done? And it serves as an example of what hard work, of what compassion, of what a caring spirit for other people and charity can do as you go into the next year. Look at the things that we were able to do. It's amazing. This brotherhood that we have built, this brotherhood that started out 8 years ago as something else, but through leadership, through challenging times, through a family spirit, through a true brotherhood, through respect, and through a desire to change lives through charity. Look at this brotherhood that we have built. And it's different everywhere you go. But look at it. Think about the lives that are being changed every day because of this brotherhood. It's incredible. It really is. So give yourselves a few seconds to think back on all the successes, the wins, the victories that we've had in this year, and use it as an example to push through to next year. That's what we need to focus on. Yeah, well said there, Puzzle. Well said. My year has been kind of all over the place, and so I just want to take a couple minutes out. I know we're pushing on an hour here. I just want to take a couple minutes out just to go over in my own head, kind of some of the cool things that I was able to do in this past year. We have kind of a written bylaw here in Northern Indiana that our captains, if you choose to step up and be a captain, we have it written in place that you have a certain number of things that you have to attend. We don't specify what, but we look at it as our captains are the representatives specifically for our chapter. And so Ed and I have to, we mandated it that way, that the captain positions have to go to a certain number of events a year. And so we continue to do that. There's some events that we weren't able to go to, or I couldn't go to, or he couldn't go to, different things each year change. What you go to changes on where the events are and where they're held usually too. We were able to go to some of the ones that we typically go to, the Nash Vegas, Battle of the Beards, Southern Indiana. Once again, we were able to return back to Canada and go to Beards for Bucko. All great times. For the first time ever, I went to a West Coast meet. Several of our guys went to the West Coast meet, being in Vegas. How awesome is that, right? But then I also had a little trip over to England. First time I've ever been out of this continent. Hopped a plane and went over to England. Never thought that would be something I'd do. Never thought that that'd be something I would do by myself. We always talked about it, my wife and I, that we were going to travel over there. We'd do it together. And she let me go. That's what it was. She knew that it was something I wanted to do. And the timing wasn't right for her to be able to go with me. And so how awesome. Such an incredible 4 days. It was a whirlwind. It was an absolute whirlwind going over there for that short period of time. But life-changing in so many different ways. And not only to be able to see not only just a different chapter, but a different way of the way things are organized, the way an event is run, everything different. And it was such a cool experience to be able to see it, witness it, to be able to bring stuff back, to be able to host two of our brothers here at my house from England when they came back over. Such a cool thing. It's such a great, big, shining example of what the brotherhood can be, what this brotherhood can be. Personal life, my daughter graduated from college earlier this year, moved up into Michigan. So being away from home for several years for college, and then now a couple hours away, living with her fiance, going into 2024, getting ready to get married. Had a son start college in this past fall. Did some more work with our local community theater that has just been an awesome thing for me to do. Both performing on stage and working in the sound booth, doing stuff, running sound. Just been a really fun add-on to my life. Our chapter has been thriving. Our chapter has been so active in every possible way. I love that the chapter that I am a part of has brothers that stand up and they want to do stuff. They look for opportunities to make a difference in the community. And if the chapter hasn't done something in a couple of weeks, guys start looking for it. They say, we need to do something. Our guys regularly get together, a handful of our guys, and it changes who that handful is on a regular basis, getting together just to hang out. I love to see that. We were able to work with Sleep in Heavenly Peace several times this year. And one time with a relatively small crew that we were able to send their way to help out, we actually were able to set a record for the local chapter of Sleep in Heavenly Peace on the number of beds one team put together in one day. I was so proud of for our guys that day. There's just so many cool things. Our chapter was able to have our most successful charity year with our Ezra Crow event. Once again, there were some misses and some really positive stuff that came of it. It's always an ever-changing thing. We made the event bigger than ever, and we raised more than double the amount of money for charity that we did in the previous two Ezra Crow events. It's been an extremely humbling and rewarding experience this year. And we've all had failures. We've all had bad days. We've had bad weeks. But in the end, you look back and you see the positivity. You see the lives that your chapter, your brothers have changed. You see how we've been able to affect a positive outcome on things. You see the smiles of the faces of the kids that you work with. You see the thankfulness in the eyes of a homeless person that you're able to give food to, give clothing to, give water to. These are the things, man. This is what this brotherhood's about. And I'm damn proud to be a part of it. I'm damn proud to be just a small part of it. I'm very proud that this show is able to be a resource for some people to learn about BV for the first time. And with this episode 199, I'm damn proud that when the next episode airs in 2024, we're going to hit 200, and we're not slowing down. I can't wait for the future because I know it's going to be more. I know it's going to be more. So, guys, I can't thank you enough, those of you who have been here tonight live, for those of you who have been here listening to this episode in a standard podcast platform after the fact. I think the only thing I can leave you with right now is the thought and a challenge to everybody to be more active in your community, be more active in your chapter. Do what you can to find those little ways that you can affect change, to affect a positive change. Those little things that you can do to put a smile on somebody else's face. Because we've talked about these ripples before. And a lot of times, you'll never know. You'll never know how far that ripple goes, right? As a song would say. You don't know. But what you can do is be that first moment that the ripple begins. And where it goes after that, you don't need to see it. You don't need it. But just know that you were there for that first moment. That's what it's about. So, guys, hey, that's it. That's episode 199. Guys, I'm so proud of this show. I'm so proud of everything that we as brothers have been able to do. I continue to look forward to the future, all the good stuff that we're going to do. But that's going to wrap up episode 199. Guys, have an incredible New Year's weekend. Be safe. Be safe. If you aren't sure if you can drive, don't. If you aren't sure if you're drunk, you probably are. So if you're unable to drunk, see what I said there? If you can't drive, don't. If you don't think you can drive, don't. If you're not sure, don't. Find an Uber, find a Lyft, find a ride. I don't want to be reading about you later, man. Be safe this weekend. Enjoy the new year. We're going to have awesome times. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to do it with you. I can't wait to celebrate 2024. I can't wait to see all the great things that your chapters are going to do in 2024. So guys, hey, I outlasted the music already. Got to start it back up. I say it every week, guys, and I'm going to continue to always to remind you that it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. But saying that means that you recognize it and you need to talk to somebody. Don't just leave it at that. Don't just say it's okay. Talk to somebody. We got everybody out there waiting for you. Guys, until next week-ish, right? Until next year, that's going to wrap up episode 199. I'll talk to you soon. Guys, until then, take care and stay safe. From the
the start to the finish, go hard and we